Thank you. How you guys doing? This is really cool and fun. Thank you for being here, and thanks to everyone who made this possible too. This is not an easy task to put on an event like this, so I commend all of you who made it possible and put in the hours. So does that topic interest you at all? You know, sometimes when people hear that number or see that number written out, they think, that's for other people, or it's not for me, or it seems too distant, it seems too far, seems too far-fetched maybe. And I think that's common, and I also think it's sad and unfortunate, because that story is not just a cool 90-second video. That is real, and that actually is my real apartment. Then I went back and all the shades were all jacked up and stuff like that, and I went there with my iPhone and took that video because I wanted it to be real. I actually go back there about every 3 months when I go walk my dogs around that neighborhood, and I go back to that apartment so I can remember where I started, because it's not, if you forget that, you kind of lose track of what's important. And it's really, really important to do that, to manage your state going forward as well, because in the other pictures is really my Las Vegas penthouse on the Strip. Some of you have been there. Some of my friends, we partied there. And so when you do that, and then you kind of lose perspective, or you could, and I never want to. I don't want to do that. And so when you make your first $1 million, and then your next million, and your next million, I encourage you to go back to where you started, periodically, because it will ground you. And sometimes you get caught up in all this too. You get really excited, and then it's growing and growing and growing, and then you think, well, what am I doing this for? What has really transpired? And when you go back, it centers you once again. So after you make your first $1 million, promise me, will you promise me you'll do that? Because it really does make a big, big difference, okay? So making your first $1 million, I love it. First, you must, I think, has this been the message of this weekend so far? Yeah. You have to believe it's possible. Why do you have to believe it's possible? Well, okay, think about something for a minute. This couch has not been used enough yet, so I'm just going to sit here for a second. So, just for a moment. My mom would probably say, don't show them the bottom of your feet. That's not very nice. So what would happen? Think about this. Okay, think about something that you don't think is possible. Think of something that just seems absolutely ridiculous for you to accomplish. I mean, just crazy, crazy. Just think of it. Put it in your head for a minute. Would you ever take any step forward to make that a reality? No. Why? Why? There's no point, because you don't think it's possible. Why would you ever want to waste a second of your time? So you have to believe it's possible. So if you have any doubt right now that you won't make $1 million, guess what? You won't. Now obviously there's hard work, and we learned about smart work, and we learned about diligent work and correct work and accurate work. That's all essential, but it all starts right here. You have to believe it. It sounds overly simplistic or woo-woo kind of stuff, I get it, and it's true. Step one is to admit you don't yet have all the answers. Because if you did, you'd already be there, right? I think James talked about, was it Famous Dave's barbecue sauce, right? He didn't have all the answers, and he's already doing $500 million a year. You have to admit you don't have all the answers. And I still do that every day. I remind myself, if you already knew how to do this, you'd be doing it. If you already knew how to make blank, you'd already do it. So it's okay to do that. Don't feel bad. Remember, this is a real, as I'll do a James here, a writer downer. It's better to say, I don't know, please teach me, rather than to say, I already know that. Really powerful. Really powerful. And the most successful people I know, and I bet you know, would say, I don't know, please teach me. It's truly that simple. And guaranteed right now, what do you think I'm saying here? What's the answer? Come on.
This is a great audience.
You guys, come on now. Guarantee you are thinking too small. Too small. Way too small. So think about whatever you want to accomplish. Go ahead and just think about that goal right now. Just do it. Just whatever it is to you. Personal, professional, financial, spiritual, relational, whatever it is. What is that goal? All right. Now, multiply it by 10. 10x it right now. Did your heart rate elevate? Did you break a sweat? Are you exhausted? Would you like to lay on the couch? What happened? My point is, it doesn't take any more effort to do something much bigger. We sell ourselves short so much. So if you're doing something locally, you can do it regionally. If you can do it regionally, you can do it nationally. If you can do it nationally, you can do it globally. And if you do it once, you can do it repeatedly. It really is that simple. It's incredibly unlikely you will become a millionaire as an employee. I'm sorry. Unless you got in early at Apple and you got stock options, or you're like one of the first 5 employees at Facebook or something like that. But those unicorns don't, come galloping along too often. So I'm not going to have you raise your hand if you're an employee, because that would not be cool right now. But I'm just being honest with you, okay? I will be brutally honest. I will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And sometimes it's cringeworthy. You're like, ooh, God, I don't know if I want to hear that. But you will realize at the conclusion of this that will all make sense. You just can't. It's hard. Here's the hardest part, is that if you've been doing something for a very long period of time, it's painful to realize that you've invested a lot of time and that it may not be in your best interest. It may not serve you at the highest purpose. It may not get you where you want to be. And that's painful because it's incongruent to how you've been living your life. But yet it's critical that you do what's necessary. But I'm not one of these people that says, just quit your day job, man. What's wrong with you? Be a baller. Sometimes that's stupid. You need to do it gradually. I phased out over 18 months. And I started in the fitness industry, so I didn't want to start right before Christmas, because no one gives a damn about what they eat and working out in December, right? In January, your phone rings off the hook as a trainer. But before that, so you have to time it right too. So when are you going to make this transition? Is there a season? Is there someone you need to meet first? Does something have to happen? Do you need proper licensure or anything like that preceding that transition? What do you need to do? So when you make that switch, be strategic in your mind about it. Don't do it haphazardly or because someone says, just quit your job, man. And then you do it prematurely. I was just listening to an interview with Damon John from Shark Tank, and he says he also gets really frustrated when coaches or mentors or whoever tell people just to quit their job. That job may be the thing that allows them the financial resources to grow and move to the next stage, right? Oh, yeah. People with good intentions can be misdirected. Imagine this. They can be sincere and sincerely wrong simultaneously, right? These people might be known as Mom and Dad, Uncle Bob, your cousin Bill, your buddies at the bar, whoever it is. Simply because people want to have good intentions, they may be misdirected. They may not have the resources, the experience, or the ability to help you. And oftentimes, it is their fear, anxiety, uncertainty, or lack of knowledge, and they have apprehension because of all that. Well, don't do that. That might be dangerous. What if you fail? I always said, what if I make it? Pretty easy switch, right? So these people might be related by DNA. It's entirely possible. So think about it like this. We're not too far out of the holiday season. Why is it that we primarily only see our family during the holidays, and then as soon as you're done, you're like, holy crap, I'm out, I'm done, I made it through, yes, right? I escaped. Why is that? Because we're different. Even though we have, DNA, we're related at times, Sometimes our life, our lifestyle, what we believe, who we are and who we are becoming is completely different from our family. And sometimes, think about this too, your family, probably mom or dad, would say something like, well, John, why do you need to go and try to conquer the world and make all that money? We love you just the way you are. What did they tell you subconsciously? What does your subconscious mind say or think or believe? Your subconscious mind thinks that if I do it, I won't receive love from mom and dad. That's how the mind is interpreting that information. So again, people with good intentions can be misdirected, misguided, and they can lead you astray. People are created equal, but not everyone's opinion has equal contribution or weight in your life. It's a very, very important distinction. You guys are like just soaking this in because you're very quiet, and I just want to make sure we're getting this. Are we good? Because this is some deep shit right now. All right. You must compress time to get to your goal faster. And by the way, this is more, the first half of this is more philosophical. The second half is going to be more tactile, okay? Just so if you're like, just tell me how to do it, man. I don't care about this crap. I just want my $1 million. Ah! Chill out, brother. It's coming. It's all good. Just hang on. This is actually what matters. If you don't get this stuff right, you're screwed. Nothing else matters. You must compress time to get to your goal faster. You've probably heard the saying, maybe this weekend, money loves speed. You've heard that before? There is truth to that. You don't want to be hasty. My dad always used to tell me, John, make haste slowly. Never understood that until I was an adult. So you must compress time to get to your goal faster, more quickly. How do you do that? You double the speed of your learning, right? Because then you can get there twice as fast. Think about all the things you've learned so far this weekend from all these incredible speakers. You will now get to your goal faster. And this is just the beginning. The other thing is to bring your goal closer. And that is to cut out the junk in between that may be getting in the way. And those might be people that are in your way. It might be unnecessary steps. It might be too many layers of bureaucracy. If you're in a business or an industry that requires a lot of government oversight and regulation and licensure and things like that, you can do really well, but it can be a huge pain in your rear as well. And so if you can eliminate some of that stuff, you can bring the goal line in closer to you. Speed up time, doubling your speed. The best way to double your speed is to double your knowledge or 10x your knowledge. Think about anything. As soon as you figure out how to do it, like you're learning a software program or whatever, the first time you do it, you're like, man, this is really tough. And then you get into the groove and you really learn something and you can just crank through these processes super fast. Think that on a macro level, do that same thing for your goal of reaching $1 million or 10 million or 100 million or whatever it is. There is no such thing as a niche that cannot be monetized. You can monetize any niche. However, oftentimes people go into things where the people that they want to serve simply don't have a lot of money, but they want to do goodwill. And we're going to get to that in a little bit here. But you can monetize anything. Now, some things are easier. Some people in certain niches are easier to work with as well. And this is the interesting thing, is that the more money the people have that you serve, the easier they are to work with. Yes, I'm generalizing. Yes, I'm stereotyping a little bit, and it holds true. If you're selling something for $29 or you're selling something for $2,900, the people you sell the $29 product to will be a bigger pain in your butt for customer service than the $2,900 people. It's just so. And I've asked all my friends who sell programs, products, and services in a wide range of industries and different price points, and this holds true every single time. Why is that? Because the people who are challenged to do $29, everything matters because they only have $29 to invest, and they're concerned about it. And it's understandable, but it can make your business decisions and your business processes challenging. The person who can invest $2,900, they're like, I got stuff to do, man. I got to go. Let's move on. My $2,900, I got some use out of it. I'm good. And they move on. Not always. There are exceptions. Okay? Oh, this is interesting. Niches that are less sexy are often more wide open because everybody wants to have a marketing agency, because everybody wants to be a coach, because everyone wants to, what, open a CrossFit or have an Orange Theory Fitness or whatever, right? These things are sexier businesses. Like, what's a sexy business? Someone, not the adult industry, not that literal. What's a sexy business? What's that? Technology. Okay, yeah, like app development, right? That might be an exception to the rule because there's so many different types of apps that you can have. But things that, I mean, literally, like if you learn how to haul manure across a state line, and then you could have a trucking company and all you do is haul poop around the country. Not sexy. Not at all, but probably incredibly lucrative. So, simply because something isn't sexy or it's not the in thing, don't discount it as a brilliant business model, because the less sexy it is, the less competition, the more blue ocean. That's a great book, by the way, Blue Ocean Strategy. I recommend that. There's more opportunity because there's fewer competitors. Hey, what do you do, Bob? Well, I haul crap all over the place. God, that sounds awesome. You know, what do? I have a branding agency. That's sexy, right? It's different. Oh, this is important. Okay. So recently I become friends with a billionaire named Naveen Jain. Some of you guys know who he is. He came to the United States in the 80s, I believe, with $5 to his name. Didn't speak English. And today he's a multi-billionaire. He has one company that's going to the moon this year, and his other company is working on human longevity, extending life over 50 years by optimizing gut bacteria. Not sexy. But he's the only one doing it. And what he said, we were actually, some of us here in the room were at another event in Las Vegas not long ago. And someone was asking me, he says, what are your daily rituals? What are your behaviors? And he says, I hate it when people ask me that. Some of you remember when he said that. He says, what you should be asking me is, what do I believe every day? What do I think in my mind every day? Because what I think and what I believe changes my daily actions and behaviors. So your daily beliefs are as important or more important than your daily behaviors or rituals. And sometimes people forget that, but think about this. What you believe every day, if you believe something, you're going to respond and have a ritual according to that belief. And then those daily behaviors lead to your goals. And the goals lead to your results. But it's all based on what you believe. So people always forget that step. And they go, I get asked that all the time. Every time I do an interview on a podcast or something like that, and they say, well, John, tell our listeners what your daily routine is. And I said, well, I sit on the couch and drink coffee and pet my 2 French bulldogs, Lily and Lucy. And they're incredibly disappointed. But what do I believe when I'm doing that? I believe I've worked so hard for so long that I'm going to enjoy that hour, and I might have 4 cups of coffee, and I might pet them twice as long because I want to. But what I believe during that time is that I've earned this, and I've worked incredibly hard, and I will continue to serve people, and I can come up with creative solutions to serve people while I pet my dogs. But it's what I believe. Then I take action, of course. But you know what I do? When I take action, I go for my meditative walk in the morning and take my dogs for a walk. And then sometimes I'll do a Facebook Live because everyone likes my dogs. Quick marketing tip, by the way. Put your dogs in any video, double your views. It's true. It's true. And by the way, they're both a tax write-off. I structured that as well. I am not kidding. I wish I could do a whole thing on that part of the wealth strategy as well. So your daily beliefs are as important. I should just cross that out. Or they're more important than your daily rituals and behaviors because they determine them. Are you guys getting this? Because you're so quiet. It's hard to tell. Oh, you're writing down? Okay. Well, copious note takers. I like it. Okay. All right, here we go. Deep breath. Don't chase the money. Focus on adding value and serving your tribe, people, community, customers. Yes. Man, I didn't think that was going to be so obvious, but all right. But you get it, right? That's good. You understand. When I first started out, I still remember when I was a personal trainer and I had a studio in my garage and I got like a $2,000 tax return, and that's all I talked about for my next 5 clients who came in. I just remember that. It just came to my mind. They're probably thinking, what a jackass. But when I was young, I was chasing the money. I was so excited. I didn't even know what I was going to do with that $2,000, but apparently that was really important to me. So don't chase the money. Focus on adding value every day. And how can I serve more people than I currently am? By leveraging. And serve your tribe and grow that community and value them. They're not a number. How many people did we get today? What's the customer number? What's this? No. How is Bob doing? Did Sue finish her program? How is their business doing? Take a personal interest and care, because they know if you do or don't. They understand that. So please think of it like who do you love most? Your kids? Some of your parents love your kids. I love my dogs. It's like, who do you love? Take care of your customers like that person you love most. And think about it like this too. If you call them family, sometimes if you refer to them as your family rather than your tribe, although tribe is good as well, but like if you had to donate a kidney to somebody, would you donate a kidney faster to a friend or a family member? Regardless of the bad advice they gave you earlier. Forget that part. Family member. So if you think of them and treat them and refer to them as family, they will do more for you as well. And you will do more for them. And it's reciprocal. It continues. Everyone benefits. Leverage everything. Write that down. Work hard once and get paid forever. Yes, I'll give you an example. One of my main companies is one of the largest fitness associations in the world, NESTA, the National Exercise and Sports Trainers Association. We have 60,000 members in 60 countries. We created our personal trainer certification, 13 years ago, and it's gone through many iterations. It's got national accreditation and all that kind of stuff. But we've created it once, and we always update it every year, but we've created it once, and I've literally made like $20 million from that program. One program. Because we did it once, and we learned how to leverage it over and over again, because Susie got certified, Bob got certified, Nick needs to get certified. It's the same program. We worked hard once. We maintain it. I have a full-time staff person that constantly maintains it, and that's all they do. And yet many people over and over again get to benefit. So we're going to get to this, but what can you do once and get paid for many, many times? Right? I'll give you an example of what I'm going to do with this presentation. So we're going to have still photos taken. It's being video recorded. I just did a short video for Facebook over here when I was getting ready to go on stage. I've been promoting it before and after. I'm going to put it on Instagram. I'm going to put it on Facebook. I'll make some Pinterest images as well. I'm going to have my assistant do an article or a press release. We're going to syndicate that as well. And then I'm going to use a lot of the different pictures for different memes and quotes and things like that I will derive from this and promote through social media ongoing. Spoke once, 1 hour, benefit many times over. You get it? You can't just go, hey, thanks a lot, and I'm out. You could, but it wouldn't be smart. You need to continue all the time. How can you work hard once and benefit many times over and over again, while adding value and caring for them like they're your family? This could be a list here. I'm going to have you guys contribute a little bit. Always be persistent. Always be curious. I say curious like a kid. Because like maybe when you're a kid, or maybe you have a little brother or sister or niece or nephew, and like, what's that? How does that work? Where are we going? What time are we going to be there? Pretty soon that sounds like the peanuts. Right? It continues. Always be curious. Always be grateful. Always ask questions. Always be educating yourself. Always say, I don't know, please teach me. Always be in the service of others. Always be looking to find something that could be done better or differently than it is now. Anything else? What's another thing that would contribute? Always be kind. That goes without saying, but I'm so glad you said that. Because sometimes I went through the same thing as well. When you start having success and stuff like that, and you start believing your own hype. Now, they didn't tell it on the story, but 10 years ago, I was on 2 seasons of The Real Housewives of Orange County. I trained them. I was their life coach. It was ridiculous. They really were my clients. But at that same time, I was on several magazines, and I was on other reality shows and stuff like that. And I started believing all the crap that people were saying about me. Fortunately, at that time, I believed the good stuff, and I ignored the bad. You can't get caught up in that. When you start having the success, you can't do that. And I did it, and it was stupid. And I feel like I went through a 12-step program still apologizing to people for that because it was so dumb. So please, 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 always be humble and kind and nice and generous and thoughtful to people. Because what happens is as you grow as an entrepreneur, as a celebrity brand, or whatever it is you're doing, people are going to gravitate towards you to learn, hopefully not extract, but sometimes that happens as well. And you need to maintain who you are. And that's also why I go back to that studio apartment, 380 square feet, where I slept on the floor. It's important. All that stuff matters. And if anyone tells you otherwise, I would run. Stay away from those people. All right, here we go. Solve a... Yes! Let's go huge, humongous, spectacular, large. The bigger the problem you solve, the more money you make, the more people you serve. It's the way it works. So write down the current problem that you've been solving for someone. Just write it down, whatever it is, doesn't matter right now. What is the problem you've been solving for people? Reversing type 2 diabetes? Yes. Okay, that's a good one, and unfortunately you have a growing market. All right, so that's tough because that already is a global problem. I'm trying to think how to 10x that. It's going to happen whether the problem is going to continue to grow. Your solution needs to grow proportionally. So whatever you are solving now, how can you solve a much bigger aspect of that problem? So for me, as an example, when I was a personal trainer, I was training people one-on-one. How can I serve more people? I know I'll do a boot camp. And I got up to training 80 ladies an hour. I was making like $2,000 an hour as a personal trainer. And then I thought, well, how can I serve more people? I licensed my program, Adventure Boot Camp, became the largest fitness boot camp system in the world. And that's the one that was featured on The Real Housewives. So I said, I'm working one-on-one. Now I'm working, I think I had 36 people in my first class, and then I got up to 80 people, which was kind of crazy. It was hard to manage. And I thought, well, how can I still benefit and help more people? I know, I'll train other trainers how to do my system. So then it proliferated. And at the highest point, it was in 7 countries. Simple, right? Wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. Grow, escalate, serve, solve a bigger problem, serve more people. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. You guys get so quiet. It's hard to tell up here, and you guys can't see the audience real well. Okay, be absolutely focused and dedicated, obsessed, driven, but also highly intelligent as you go through this. Sometimes people just go, just hustle, man. It's like everything's like Gary Vee. I can't drop that many F-bombs in a day if I tried. Like, hustle is important. There's no question. But I call it strategic hustle. Hustle, learn, recover. Hustle, learn, recover. And it's cyclical. And also, you need to hustle on certain things at certain times. Certain things at certain times. So they mentioned in the opening that I have rank in 6 different martial arts. Just yesterday, I got my 3rd black belt. And yeah, I'm so sore today. If you saw me go up the stairs, I'm like, I'm dying. No black eyes, which is cool. But I had to hustle and focus. I stopped doing all the other martial arts that I do. And I only focused on that one for the last 8 weeks of my training. And also, unfortunately, I couldn't focus on my business quite as much as well because I was exhausted and I need to mentally focus and relax. So your hustle can be like grouped here for a little bit, and then you let that go when you're done with that, and then you hustle here and let the other stuff go. Some people say, I just want a work-life balance. That doesn't exist. It doesn't. It's a fallacy. It ebbs and flows. There's no exact. But what you can do is, it's like, I call it a non-symmetrical balance. Because there's balance of other things, but it's non-symmetrical over here. But there's still enough of the other things around the periphery that is creating a balance. And then you let this go, and then you focus on the other thing for a bit. But think about anyone, like the Olympics just started yesterday, but the opening ceremonies were yesterday, right? All right, cool. I love watching the short track speed skating. It's awesome. That's happened today. These athletes are not having work-life balance. It doesn't exist. But you know what? Yesterday, I think someone from South Korea just won the first gold medal, right? Or today in short track speed skating. Do you think he's focused on, I didn't clean the bathroom, did I? No. Let it go for a little bit. It's okay. I used to give examples of Lance Armstrong and Tiger Woods, but then their work-life balance my example just kind of went out the window. They totally screwed up my story. But pretend that Lance didn't take a bunch of drugs and Tiger didn't have 27 girlfriends. When they were at the top of their game, they were out of balance. They did not have a work-life balance. But then you can get back to it in the off season, on the weekends, or whatever it is. But it's never perfect. So if you're always striving for that, you may also have to settle for mediocrity in your business. I'm not saying it's an absolute, but it tends to hold true. Okay? Again, I don't want to sugarcoat anything, and I don't want to tell you what you want to hear. I want to tell you what you need to hear, because this is the reality. There's times when I grind 16, 18 hours. And then I'm so wound up, I have a hard time sleeping at night. And then there's other times I thought, you know what, I'm just going to work 3 or 4 hours today and then go walk my dogs again and listen to a podcast. So you must be focused and obsessed, but then also realize that there is no absolute work-life balance. It just doesn't exist. So this is what I was talking about earlier. People say, I just want to make a difference in the world. I just want to go like rainbows and unicorn farts and whee, right? That's cool, but you have to be able to pay the bills. It actually defies physics to give something you don't have. Right? You can't give something you don't have. It doesn't exist. You can't give it away. So a lot of people want to do all this charitable work, which is incredible. I support a lot of charities. The main charity I support is Miracles for Kids, that helps give life-saving support to families with kids with terminal illness, and we raise about $5 million a year through a group of people. It's incredible what we get to do for them. But if I was broke, I couldn't do that. And all these other people that do this are incredibly wealthy because they built the business first. Their heart never changed. Their desire to serve never changed. But they have to build something to have before they can give whatever portion away that they want to. But a lot of times people just want to go, I want to go help the kids in Africa, totally noble. I want to help these sick kids. You know, I like Make-A-Wish Foundation, or the Susan Komen Foundation, or whatever it is. That's awesome. We all need to give back. That truly is important. It makes you feel incredible. You must build the machine first. And you must maintain and continue to grow the machine before you do the charity. But charity is an essential part. And you will find also that the more you hang out with really successful entrepreneurs and wealthier entrepreneurs, you will find that they are incredibly charitable. The more they have, the more they give. I have never found an exception. I'm sure it exists, but I haven't found it. Business first, then charity. So now we're going to get into a little bit of the tactics, okay? So what niche do you want to serve? And it's niche. I say niche because it rhymes with rich, not bitch. No, rich. Come on, work with me, people. Come on. Niche rhymes with rich. So what niche do you want to serve? Now, let's just say I want to work with just entrepreneurs. That's not a niche. It's not niched enough. I always say niche down twice or 3 times. So I work with, my primary business is I work with entrepreneurs that have some established business or business knowledge that are under $2 million in revenue. That's my niche. I'll go back to the fitness example because I've worked with so many fitness professionals. So I go, I want to be a weight loss coach. All right, well, okay, you and 20,000 other people that live in San Diego County. All right, so now you're a weight loss coach for women who are postmenopausal. Now you can speak a common language to them because they understand. So niche down at least once, maybe twice. But you don't want to do this. I'm gonna do weight loss coaching for women that live in San Diego that are postmenopausal who also like can swing a kettlebell and have kittens. It's not going to work. All right. So a little bit, but not too much. But as they say, the riches are in the niches. You heard that before? It really is true. And it's easier for you to become a world-class expert in a niche rather than something broad spread. It's easy to become a world-class expert in a small niche. Like, you want to be the person that, and this I'm generalizing again, that you go to a trade show for XYZ and everyone in that trade show has to come to your booth. They have to get a picture with you. They know who you are. I mean, it can be like Field and Stream. Like you're the person who knows how to make custom flies for fly fishing. And believe me, there's someone who does that that's making $1 million a year, guaranteed. Niching, all right? You can't be a master of everything. It just doesn't work. So where are these people that you want to serve in this niche? Where are they? You know, the easiest and the fastest, most simplistic thing to do is go to Facebook and search under groups. That's it. I'm willing to bet you all have a Facebook account, all right? When you're done tonight or whenever, tomorrow, go into Facebook and then search under a topic, click on the tab groups and see all the things that come up. In fact, what I'd like for you to do is join those groups, but just don't start pimping stuff right away. Just listen. Just say, hey, I'm new to the group. Thank you so much for accepting me. I'm here to learn. And then shut up. And just listen and learn and grow and see what they do, learn about the dynamics, and pay attention to the questions and the problems that people have over and over and over again, because it will repeat. And you know what? That's how you can make a program or a product or a service or something to serve their needs. Because if there's 20,000 people in the group and someone says, yeah, I have a problem with my widget, and everyone goes, oh my gosh, my widget screwed up too, and it's like 500 comments. Your next project is Widget Solutions 101. It's a 5-video course selling for $997. It's honestly that easy, right? What is their biggest problem? Apparently they have widget problems, but I bet they have other problems as well. So you know who you want to serve, you've niched down. You know where these people are because you found them in a group on Facebook. And there's other things too. LinkedIn has groups as well. But what is their biggest problem? What is their pain point? What is the thing that you know, like I have one person I work with. He's a student of mine. He is a coach for people with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. It's a horrible, horrible thing to deal with. And the pain point for them is that they want to feel good to spend time with their family and their grandkids. So anytime we're talking about creating solutions for them, it's all about how they can enjoy their life with the people they love. See, it goes back to the family again, even if they give bad advice. All right. What is their biggest problem? And how can you solve their problem? How are you uniquely positioned? What can you solve? What can you create? What techniques or technology or knowledge that you have that you can impart to them that will allow them to alleviate their discomfort? Remember, people move towards pleasure and away from pain, although you can't do one without the other. It's a matter of focusing, right? So if I want to move away from this pain to the couch, I'm probably going to face in this direction, but I can't stop moving away even though I want to move towards what I want. So sometimes, not knowing who they are, you have to position something in respect to them moving away from something that displeases them, and also at the same time towards something that they want. A phrase that you can use often for this is, this is the solution you, or let me think how I want to say that. I'm going to come back to it because I had it in my head, bam, went away. People will move away from something and towards something else at the same time. I know what I was going to say, duh. This is the opportunity you need to blank. This is the opportunity you need, because if it's an opportunity, I'm moving towards it, and if it's a need, I need to get away from that. This is the opportunity you need to blank. Start with an MVP, minimal viable product. And by product, I mean product, service, coaching program, mentorship, widget, continuity program. That means reoccurring income. Start with the minimal viable product. Why is this important? Because people are going to give you feedback. You're not going to have all the answers. It won't happen. If you say, well, I'm going to do this add-on, and someone goes, yeah, I'll do this, and I have this problem, and I have this problem, and pretty soon you created a monster and you have no idea how to deal with it. And people will give you feedback after they buy the program or the product or the app or whatever, and then you add to it and then you modify. So start with a minimal viable product or service or widget and add to it. It's also faster to market, it costs you less, and once you get the feedback from your customer, you know that you created something that they want. Someone who's already given you money is telling you what they want. And if you listen to them and you do what they want, and they've already given you money, when you create something else, they're going to give you more money. Make sense? Okay. So, and also you can't delay. The biggest thing, the biggest challenge I've ever seen with anyone who goes through this process is the paralysis through analysis, or the fear of being judged by whatever it is. It's not done. It's not done. There's one typographical error. Publish the book. It's okay. My first book had like 40 typographical errors. It's crazy. Like it was actually a little too much. But anyway, if you have 5 errors, that's okay. 20, 30, 40, forget it. Can't have it. So start, launch, get feedback, tweak. What is the next problem they have? So if you solve one problem, what's the next problem they have? Kevin, I'm going to ask you. I'm putting you on the spot, brother. Okay. So Kevin's speaking tomorrow, right? Yeah. Oh, he's speaking tomorrow? He actually did my rebrand. So if you like it, he's the man. Okay. So you have a branding agency, Strive and Grind. So when people come to you, like me, my first problem was I'm a middle-aged, nerdy white dude. I had no style. So you fixed me. So then what's the next challenge? What are we talking about tonight?
Consistency. So it's like, cool, you launched your new brand. Now how can we work together for the long term to ensure that you're sticking to what we
Right.
said from the beginning?
Okay, so in case the house mic or the other one didn't pick that up. So basically he redid my entire brand, soup to nuts. I mean, literally everything. When you go to the website, you can see all the cool stuff that he did. But then, like afterwards, I had a couple images. He's like, no, dude, you can't use that. That is not cool. You cannot do that. You're going backwards, man. So now tonight, we're gonna go out and we're gonna talk about a strategy for consistency over time. That's his follow-up. He's solving my next problem. The first problem was the biggest one, obviously. I was a mess. And so he fixed that one, and now consistency over time is the next problem. So what can you do to solve the next problem? What is the next logical problem when, okay, so think about a car. You get a car, what's the next problem after you have a car? You gotta have maintenance. And if you have maintenance, you might want to get a warranty. And then one of the things on the warranty is going to be tires. But if you get tires, you got to have cool wheels, so then you can sell them the wheels. And after that, you have to come in for a regular oil change and lubrication and maintenance. And then after that, you might want some aftermarket, products and service. And during that whole time, you're creating a relationship and moving them towards purchasing the next car in the future. So I'm just using that as an example. What is the next thing that you can do to solve the person's problem that is going to arise because you created a solution for the first one? Clone and modify. Think, think, think. I'm going to give an example of my company again, for the fitness company. So the main company, again, National Exercise and Sports Trainers Association, we have 40 certification courses, 40. And there's divisions for coaching and wellness and holistic studies and brain science and things like that as well. The primary program is the personal fitness trainer certification. Because if you're gonna enter the fitness industry, that's the one you're gonna start with. And if it's the coaching industry, it's gonna be the life strategies coach. So you start with that. But then what do they need next? Well, a trainer needs to learn nutrition. Boom. Fitness nutrition coach certification. After that, I like working with athletes. Boom, sports nutrition specialist. Man, I need to build a website. Boom, WordPress website solutions. I can't get ranked on Google. Boom, SEO, get ranked on Google. You get it? Yeah. And we've done that over and over and over again, and that's why we have 60,000 people who've gone through our programs in over 60 countries. Just today when I was backstage, I got orders from 2 different countries while I was waiting to come up. Yes, it's a good feeling. That's a great feeling to wake up in the morning and say, I've already paid my bills for the day. It's an incredible feeling because when you have to exchange your time for money over and over again, you start thinking, God, I really would love to have that expensive bottle of wine at the restaurant, but I'm thinking, what do I have to do how much work am I gonna have to do to pay for that? Have you ever thought about stuff like that? I used to all the time. I used to think, that's a lot of training sessions. I do not want it. I'll just take the $2 chuck. I'm good. Seriously. So clone what works and tweak it. So when we go back here, this is the personal trainer certification. The company structure remains the same. The entity is in place. It's a corporation. We have the search engine ranking. We just need to clone it for this one. We have the infrastructure. We know what is required in a sales page and all that stuff. And then we take the basic structure and put it here and we basically reskin it, right? And then that works here. And then say, okay, and then we get feedback. That's why we have a private Facebook group. That's why I ask a lot of questions in my private Facebook group. And then I get feedback and they go, oh, they're gonna have this problem, so we're gonna create this solution as well. Because it's easier to keep a customer than it is to get a new one. Reinvest in your business before paying yourself a big salary. And I'm also going to say, before you buy a bunch of houses, is what I did, which was stupid. I'm like, I'm just going to collect houses. It was not a smart move. And I have a few of them left, but a lot of them are now long since gone. Reinvest in your business. And by reinvesting your business, I'm talking about your infrastructure for your business, your technology. You know, I've seen people that, well, my iPhone, it keeps blanking out and it won't hold a charge. And I'm like, you run your whole business on your iPhone and you won't invest in an iPhone? Well, your business is going to fail. It just is. You can't think like that. Doesn't mean you have to get a new phone every 6 months because they have a new color or something like that. That's not what I'm talking about. But if the stuff isn't functioning right and it's not serving you, it's not going to help. We just reinvested last year in a new customized database for my company that runs on Amazon server. It's incredible. It's helped us so much with our business. And now I don't even know how we did without it. But we had to reinvest in the business. And I started my business June 1st, 1992. I know a lot of you weren't even born then, which kind of bums me out, but anyway. But I know that is true. Reinvest in yourself and your business in every way possible. And there's always discussion or debate, you know, how many dollars per 100 should be reinvested in your business and marketing and all that kind of stuff. Enough to make it work and enough to grow and stay in your smaller house, your apartment or whatever it is as long as you can. And keep reinvesting in the business and it will take you much, much further, I promise you. And also from a tax perspective, I still pay myself as little as possible. You want to run as much through the business as you can, as possible, legally. Don't get in trouble with the IRS. Not fun going to prison. Haven't been there, but I've heard stories. So please be conscientious. And one of the things that you should invest in, speaking of that, is a business attorney, a CPA, certified public accountant, and a certified financial planner. Someone that has fiduciary responsibility. If you're not familiar with that term, basically that means that they have to do what is in your best interest, not what is suitable for you, but earns them a higher commission. You need a fiduciary. Don't ask me to spell it. All right. So this is something I learned. We're almost done here, you guys. So far, you good? Yeah? That's a lot of information, I know. Always ask yourself, is this useful? I learned this from my friend Jesse Elder. And it's because when we say something is either good or bad, that's kind of a subjective way of perhaps excluding opportunity. It's good, it's bad. Well, it might be good for you, but bad for them, or vice versa. He suggested, and I agree, that it's better to say, is this useful now and or in the future? I prefer to look at it now and the future. You don't want to, one thing I didn't put a slide in here, and I should have, is you got to play the long game. This is a long haul. Now I want you to make $1 million your first year. That would be awesome. It may or may not happen. But if you think of things strategically long term and build upon that foundation of the year, even the day, the week, the month preceding, that's how you get there. And that's what matters. So always ask yourself, from this point forward, just promise me this. Don't say, that's good, that's bad, that sucks, that's awesome. Is this useful? Can I use this? Will this serve me? Will this serve my community? Because it's useful, will it add value? And also, there's a time to reassess this too, because what may be useful now may not be useful in the future. And so we need to update our subconscious mind on what is useful. That's a whole other subject of updating your subconscious mind. I can teach that next time. But it's incredibly, incredibly important to think this through. Is this useful for me? All right? So I have a cool free gift for you, if you guys want it. So that outfit looks moderately familiar. I think I got like 10 of these black shirts. It's awesome. All right. So I have 2 free video training for you guys on my website. I'm going to give you the link here in just a second. One of them is 6 pillars of entrepreneur success. And it has transcriptions, it's got a note sheet, and it's like an hour and 20 minutes of training. It's all free. It's really, really good. And then the other one is the 6 ultimate success pillars. And these, I've compartmentalized the important elements of successful entrepreneurship and ultimate success. You can call it personal success, personal development. There is crossover, and there always will be. You can't separate them. You're only going to be as successful as a businessman or woman, an entrepreneur, as your mind will allow. That's just the way it works. So thank you. Here's the link, you guys. johnspencerellis.com/v free dash video dash training. I also have another course coming out real soon. It's a program that it's going to teach you exactly how to make your first $100,000 online. It's called the Online Expert Empire. It's coming real soon. I'll keep you notified about that. But grab this free training. That's like over 2 hours of training. It's just fantastic for you. And it will reinforce the things that we talked about in the last hour here. I have time for 1 or 2 questions. And then my time is up. Who has a question? You guys you're all ready to go? Yes?
How important would you say heart is in making your first move?
Oh, how important heart is. I'm glad you said that. That's really good. So here's the thing, you guys. People say, I just want to do something I'm passionate about, right? Well, I could be passionate about synchronized underwater Navajo basket weaving. I can say that because I'm part Native American Indian. And yet, I don't think you're going to make a ton of money doing something. Passion is not enough. Now, you don't want to hate what you do, but do you think the guy who makes $10 million a year hauling manure around state to state, you think he's like, I just love the smell of cow crap in the morning. I live for this shit. No, he doesn't. He doesn't do that. But passion can help because it stirs you, and it makes you excited about it. And the more excited you are about it, the more you want to talk about it. And the more you talk about it, the more you'll talk to other people about it and get inspired and get new ideas. So that's important. What I'm more passionate about for myself is serving other people, being around fun people, having a good time, and customizing my life the way I want it. And for me, people say, well, what does success mean? And that's really, really personal. For me, and I invite you to share this same thought, is success to me is to do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whomever I want, every day. And that's why I'm here with you today. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You can do this. I promise you, you can do this. Thank you.